Hello, and welcome to OOI How-To, a video series that shows you how to access and use all the cool data available from the Ocean Observatories initiative. In this video, we will take a quick tour of the basic plotting capabilities available on the OOI data portal, which you can access at ooinet.oceanobservatories.org. For this example, we're going to look at some CTD data from a profiler on the Endurance Array, specifically the Oregon Offshore Cabled Shallow Profiler Mooring. Because we already know the instrument we're interested in, the best place to start is the Data Access and Plotting page, which you can find underneath the Science menu. This brings up the full catalog of all of the data streams available in the portal. To find the instrument we're interested in, we're just going to use the search box to enter a few key terms. In this case, we'll enter Oregon Offshore Profiler and CTD. This brings up the related data streams. If you scroll over to the Node and Reference Designator columns, you will see that there are two instruments that match this search. One on the 200-meter platform and another on the profiler. Scrolling further, we can see the start and end times of available data for each stream. And scrolling even further, we see the Stream Identifier column tells us what kind of data each stream contains. Since we're interested in the real-time streamed CTD data from the profiler and not engineering or recover data, this is the row we want to choose. To select the data stream for plotting, click the plus button on the left. This will add the stream to the selected list above, much like a shopping cart. Now that we have the selected stream, we can click the Plotting tab. On this page, you can choose the desired plot types you wish to create, the date range you are interested in, and other options like whether or not you would like quality control flags displayed. You can also specify which data parameters you would like to include in your plot. By default, the plotting interface will allow you to plot time series or XY scatter plots of data. We will explore other plotting types in future videos. But for now, the first step is to select the parameters you wish to include on the plot. To start, we'll choose time for the x-axis and temperature for the y-axis. Note that there may be multiple parameters with similar names in the list. In this case, temperature is available as both raw engineering counts and as degrees Celsius, which is the one we're going to pick. Now I'm going to click the Plot button to see what we get. By default, the last week of available data is displayed, and as you hover over the plot, you can see additional details for each data point. Next, let's add salinity and pressure to the chart. Simply click the button to add another parameter, and then select the specific parameters you wish to add. Clicking on the Plot button refreshes the graph. We can also change the date range shown on the graph. Simply click the date range in the top right. Now you can use the input boxes or calendars to select the specific dates that you're interested in, or you can use the pre-selected options on the right. I typically like to choose the All Data option at first to see what the full range of data looks like. Now let's turn off temperature and salinity and focus just on the pressure time series. We'll also switch the plot style from line to both, which plots data using both lines and dots so we can see the actual data points. It's important to note that when viewing plots and data provided by the system, they may be downsampled or decimated, as we can see here. For a wire-following profiler, we would expect the pressure record to be continuous between the lower and upper depths, but that is hard to show for such a large date range. Luckily, we can now zoom in on a specific date range in the plot by clicking and dragging across it. Let's choose a few days around the new year. As you can see, the plot will zoom in and refresh with more detailed data after a few seconds. In addition, the date range up at the top will now display the time period you choose. Of course, you can select a new date range there, or you can click the Reset Zoom button to go back to your previous view. Finally, let's flip the plot around to show the profiles of temperature and salinity over this time period. First, we'll deselect the time parameter. Next, we'll make sure pressure uses the y-axis, and we'll add back temperature and salinity and switch them to use the x-axis. Now we can click Plot. This plot isn't very pretty, so let's clean it up a bit. First, let's change the plot style from both to scatterplot, which will use dots instead of both lines and dots. Next, because this is supposed to be a profile plot, we should change its orientation from horizontal to vertical. This gives the plot a better aspect ratio. Finally, we should invert the y-axis so that the higher pressures are on the bottom, as they are in the ocean. Under the Options menu, click Invert Y. Now we have a much nicer graph. Once you have a graph you like, you can download a copy to your machine. Click on the hamburger icon at the top right of the graph and select the image format you prefer to download. Finally, once you have a dataset you are interested in, you can also download it to your computer for further analysis. simply click the Download Data link. You can alter the selected date range if you like. You can also choose to download the data as JSON, CSV, or NetCDF formatted file. If you choose JSON or NetCDF, you can also choose whether or not you would like to download the provenance metadata or quality flags. Once you have made your selection, click on the Download button. When your files are ready, you will receive an email with further instructions on where to download your data. Well, that's our nickel tour for plotting in the OOI data portal. It's important to remember that the data portal's plotting tools are primarily designed to help you explore what data is in the system. The quick look graphs you create may not be presentation ready, but they will hopefully help you identify interesting data sets that you can investigate further using your own tools and the files you download. If you run into any trouble or have any questions about plotting in the data portal, please send a note to the help desk and we'll be happy to help. Have fun exploring OOI data.